So a quick intro to a long overdue video, how to get Orion Camo, with the timestamps just here. You're going to struggle with one of those things more than others, feel free to skip to that section, but bear in mind, I think DLC weapons are probably the easiest way to get this Orion Camo, because they do count. And you need to know how to level those things, get those things gold. Maybe everything in this video will help you. So my name's Gabba. If something's helped you, I really would appreciate a like. It really would be great before you chip off. And a subscription to the channel would be great as well. My name's Gabba. I've said that already. Let's get on with the video. So to keep this video nice and short, there are two major ways in which to get weapon XP. There's the multiplayer approach and the DMZ approach. I personally favour the DMZ approach, where you can jump into a game, kill a lot of bots, and gain lots of weapon XP. It's so good that you can drop in, kill loads of players, and exfil. There's also a cheeky way around Ashika Island. If you just jump on a jet ski or a boat, drive around the outside of the map, once you've done one full loop, you actually gain 2,000 weapon XP, which is quite a lot. Then just leave the game and you can play multiplayer. Only downside to DMZ is if you die, you can't use that weapon inside the DMZ for nearly an hour. So let's jump over to method 2, which is inside the multiplayer. Now this is in kill confirmed. Still the best way is swapping to the weapon you want to level when picking up dog tags. This method works so well across the board that even weapons like riot shields, knives, or a fresh weapon with no attachments, just swap to it just prior to picking up the dog tag. You can use the fast hands perk to swap really quickly. Works great for launchers that you don't want to use, like the Joker. Of course, you can then swap to weapons you do want to use, make it your primary weapon once it's leveled up enough. Therefore, it becomes a beast inside multiplayer. This is still the tried and tested method. Now let's move on to number 2, which is the gold challenges. From here, the video will contain lots of screenshot opportunities, so make sure you get your phone in high resolution, or visit my Twitter to get the actual HD version of it if you want it for later on. I'm going to start with the gold challenges for the primary weapons, then on to the secondaries, the melee weapons, and the launchers. Here's a little diagram I've created to take a look at later on. On the left, you're going to see the challenges that are the most annoying, and a little tip for each of them so you can breeze through them, hence why a screenshot might be useful to look at later on. Let's start off with the hipfire kills. So I found hipfire kills super easy inside hardcore. Of course, one single bullet from an assault rifle, battle rifle, and most SMGs at most ranges are going to count as a hipfire kill. Inside softcore or in core game modes, you can just do this little trick where you aim down sight initially, then release your ADS button on your controller and you'll start shooting from the hip. One last bullet should kill them. As long as they're not really firing back at the time, you should easily kill them. That's my method to get hipfire kills done nice and quickly. Shotguns are really easy. You just need to get close to people. So using a bit of smoke to get closer to people. Of course, shipment is by far the best method of getting hipfire kills. Same with LMGs, hardcore, they're just the same as the assault rifles and battle rifles. LMGs, marksman rifles, just play hardcore when you can. And use the 1 milliwatt laser. This is something that they can't see, enemies can't see it, so you can wait around corners. You need to stop sprinting right now because you don't want to get caught off guard, especially with LMGs and marksman rifles. The sprint to fire time is just terrible. So you can creep around corners, minimizing your hip fire kill radius. And lastly, it's the snipers. The snipers are really quite challenging. Only 1 or 2 of them require this. But again, use smoke to get across the map, get really close to people capping flags, crouch down beside them. One shot from the hip should always kill them. I would suggest playing core game modes for this because one shot back at you and you are dead. You need to be quite lucky with this, so rush forward with your smoke and even a riot shield to get really close to enemies, then swap weapons with fast hands and then one hipfire kill. Remain crouched to maximize your hipfire accuracy, get real close on people capping flags. Domination is really easy. When it comes to mounted kills, aiming stability and recoil attachments are key. The aiming stability, I'm going to tell you now, is a really underrated statistic when it comes to playing hardcore and waiting at the back of the map for long shots later on. So get used to using the aiming stability attachments. Use decoys to draw enemies out, and of course you can use a deployed cover to get right at the back. Deploying a cover anywhere you like and just throw enemies off. Chuck it down in the center of a map and you've got yourself something to mount on. A trick I noticed with double kills is I played a lot better when I was going for them. This is an unusual way of playing the game, but avoid reloading. So you've got your gun almost running out of ammunition, just jump and push around the corner. Just expect there to be somebody else. It works so good, and I was getting kill streaks more than I would normally by killing one player and hoping there's another just by jumping around the corner, ADS ready. If there's not, naturally reload. but that's my best way to do it, and playing a lot of Dom and get near your own flags. Players will want to cap flags, so take them out and jump around the corner where you expect others to get round. The double kills with a sniper is usually done best on shoot house, straight down the centre, you know what I mean, and second of all is with a red dot sight. If you can rush up front and treat it like a shotgun, you can do pretty well with this, and focus on ADS time and aim movement speed. So you can creep around the corner, shoot 2 players, hopefully that'll be a double kill. The one-shot kills are really not difficult in hardcore. I believe these challenges were made prior to hardcore coming out, probably why they delayed hardcore actually being available as a game mode, but it's super straightforward. Just remember to focus all your attachments on aim walking speed, so you can walk around corners already ADS, very silent as well. One tap, bam, they're dead. Aim for the head if possible, because that will help with other challenges, but naturally hardcore is going to be the place to do it. With prone kills, they're super annoying, I won't lie. I got these capping B flags and waiting for players to rush me and kill me. Whenever you're capping the B flag, you can use smoke, you can use thermals. I personally got many of these kills laying down on a flag I was capping and waiting for them to push me. With a trophy system, you can stay alive a bit longer, and in ground war, I did a lot of stuff at range by laying flat and then on top of a building, and there's some players down there. This works really, really well, but the idea is to get close to enemies and drop shot, essentially. By far the fastest method would be on shipment, if you can wait for a 24-hour playlist to put this challenge off, or if you want to do it right now, get some smoke, get some dead silence, and get inside people's spawns. Rush up beside people capping flags, they won't even know you're doing that. Take them out from really, really close. There you go. The kills from behind challenge you may think is a bit of luck, but you can boost this using the decoys and when enemies have UAVs, essentially. So use the ghost perk, it happens loads at the second half of any game. When a UAV comes up, you can just wait in a corner and throw decoys the other side, like on screen right now. You'll see lots of players are going to look to their right, and of course that means you have their back to shoot. Nice and easy, there's plenty of places all over the game for this. You can boost it with decoys and using ghost. 2 of the snipers require 2 kills within 10 seconds, which challenge is quite rare. Maybe you're still struggling with that. It's essentially a double kill. You can do this with the red dot sight, get up close and shoot them, or you're going to end up doing it on a high traffic area. I did this loads inside shoot house. Shipment is really, really easy, but you can take out a squad inside Warzone or in DMZ, and that still counts as well. All the primary weapons require you to get 3 kills in a row without dying. This is the actual gold challenge. This may be why you're on this video entirely. There's a website highlighted just there called warzonerank.com/Modern Warfare 2. There's of course a Warzone section. Grab the meta weapons from there. I don't know what all the builds are. No one really knows. They're always adjusting things, but this website will be your best bet to find the best weapon class to make things as easy as possible for you. Now, across the board, the hardest ones would be snipers for some players, so therefore don't worry, the game will adjust. If you're playing solo and you're not getting those 3 kills in a row, the game knows this, and if you back out, you'll rejoin an easier lobby each time. Trust me, it gets easier with skill-based matchmaking. It's one of those rare instances where skill-based matchmaking is actually a very good thing. With the rest of the primary weapons, you should be able to get these 3 kills in a row and get the UAV. If you manage to get 6 kills in a row, believe it or not, that actually counts as 2 towards this challenge, which is awesome. So get the UAV in, get the SAE in there. I've got some kill streaks at the bottom there, that's the ones I would use. And do your best to play with a larger squad, therefore you get good communications, get more UAVs in the air, maybe an advanced UAV to really get some high kill streaks in there. A 10 kill streak, for example, will count as 3, which would be absolutely awesome and a really big step towards getting this challenge completed. I do advise while you're here to check out the comment section down below. You may find some tips and tricks inside there to help with getting streaks in there if you are struggling with some of these weapons. So with this game, you don't actually need to do all 51 guns that are currently in the game. So if you don't want to do all the pistols, you actually don't have to. Or you don't want to do the riot shield and melee weapons. You don't have to. However, if you start doing 1 gun gold, you might as well finish that class to get the platinum challenges done. So it's important if you do 1 melee weapon, you do both of them. If you want to do 1 handgun, you've got to do all the handguns. So let's just briefly talk about handguns. The revolver and the 50 cal are the only ones that are really viable inside softcore. The revolver is really powerful with 1 shot to the head, as is the deagle. All the others are kind of tricky, so that's where they become really good weapons actually in hardcore. So I would mostly be playing hardcore with the pistols. They really do feel like a 1-shot kill. You're James Bond, you're John Wick, you're going around like a legend. It is a lot of fun, and actually the challenges don't feel that difficult when inside hardcore. With the gold challenges for the riot shield and the melee, it's mostly you want to level them up first. Once you've leveled them enough, you've unlocked the challenges, away you go. Get those kills. So, to get lots of kills with riot shields, it's smoke and smack people. It's also playing Dom, and don't play every game trying to get the weapon done ASAP. Use it as a secondary and realise this situation would be great for a riot shield. I should swap to it and bash, bash, bash. Same with the melee. If you're going to run around a corner, you're not on any weapon streak, and you push into a building, swap to a melee weapon. Run in there with a knife, slash, slash, slash. You never know, you might actually get quite a good kill streak out of it, and I would normally do that when you have nothing to lose. The riot shield knife and the handguns are very similar in the fact that when you need to get kills in a row, you really need to stay off other people's radar, so ghost is a really important thing. Also, hug the walls as you're approaching buildings, scoot around the side, players will run past you, you get a chance to smack them in the back, and that's a nice and easy challenge. So getting 2 kills in a row is quite straightforward for pistols and as well as for the riot shield. As long as people don't see you, you can very easily do this with dead silence. Before I move on to the launchers, I'm going to go through a few of the platinum challenges for the handgun, riot shield and melee weapon. The handguns only require 20 meters long shot. That's really quite easy. You can use an angel optic on some of the main ARs and primary weapons to give you a better idea of distance, or just tag by pressing up on your D-pad to understand, am I 20 meters away from that window or wall? But I have a full section of long shots in this particular video, so the timestamp's on the screen if you want to skip ahead and understand more about long shots in general. The maps are displayed here as well, because there are some maps you just straight up avoid playing, especially when you're motivated for just one challenge. Don't tempt playing old horrible maps that just do not work for you, and then get out of the game and back out should you be chucked into the maps you don't like playing. So my tips for the handgun are to play hardcore kill confirmed. When you see your teammate's tag drop, you can swap to a pistol and stare at it. You know full well an enemy is going to go fetch that tag, bam, and hopefully that tag is over 20 meters away. You can take them out. You don't need very many long shots with the pistol, so it's nice and straightforward. Really, really easy, and put all your attachments to increase your ADS walking speed. Therefore, you'll be absolutely silent walking around this map, almost like a permanent dead silence, which is awesome, and you'll always be ready. You won't get caught off guard by aiming down sight too slowly. Aim down sight, walk around corners, honestly, is the fastest way, and you can catch those campers off guard. Similar to the riot shield and the secondary, if you want to get these platinum, you need to get double kills within 10 seconds. I've got the maps on screen because most of the maps aren't really appropriate, but using dead silence, using smoke, and mostly playing around like domination flags, you're going to get people off guard, and there will be other teammates beside them. Just, it works like that. So to rush around the map with dead silence shouldn't be too difficult. So on to our first set of polyatomic challenges. The handguns, riot shield, and melee weapons. I'm going to just cover these real quick and then move on to the launchers. But the handguns are all about aim walking speed. I really suggest you walk around the map, most of it anyway, ADS. And if you're playing hardcore, one tap to the head will nearly always kill the enemy at nearly every range. It's pretty important because they won't be jumping around the corners or ducking and diving or drop shotting if they don't know you're there. And ADS walking means you're silent. So of course, aim high, hit the head, and that's done. Play softcore for the revolver and the 50 cal. These weapons here are also one-shot headshots, really, really easy, and avoid playing any other map than the ones you see on screen now. My suggestions for the riot shield and their melee weapons is to hug walls, let players run past you, use dead silence and decoys. You will have enemies facing the wrong way all the time. Also, playing domination and hardpoint, players will be just laying prone, and you can stab them in the back, usually quite straightforward. On screen now are all the challenges in one place for a quick screenshot, and now I'm going to move on to the launchers. So getting gold launchers deserves an entire video of itself, which I've already done, and I've got that on the channel, and there's a link at the top right corner if you require it. But it is missing polyatomic challenges as they weren't unlocked at the time, nor was hardcore available at that time as well. On screen now is a very easy screenshot for you to follow for later on. I think it's pretty self-explanatory what you need to do for each of them, and these are my top tips that I would recommend to a friend if they want to get something unlocked nice and quick. But of course now we have access to hardcore playlists and a constant flow of shipment 24/7, dome 24/7, nice small maps to increase engagement. They are not included in those videos, so I would expect the 15 double kills to come a little bit sooner for you. So now let's just focus really briefly on how to get those double kills. What mental attitude do you need to get into the games and get those challenges completed? With double kills, all I did was use dead silence. I used smoke to get up close and treat the launcher like it's a melee weapon. Once the melee weapon has had one kill, I then ADS and just shoot it anywhere that there was another player likely to be to get that secondary kill. With the Joker, again, I'd have to get 2 kills, whether they're melee or whether I aim it across the map and land on a flag or something, or a hard point. That's how I got those done. Or you can do this inside ground war, looking out the back of a helicopter, shooting down onto other people's flags inside the ground war or invasion. Honestly, you get multiple kills every single bullet pretty much. So just camp in the sky. That's the best way to get the Joker done. But the others were just like melee weapons with the option of shooting it inside their spawn after you get 1 kill. So let's talk about a really important part of this grind, and that is long shots. Can be really grindy and really annoying. So in the background, you're going to see some of my favourite spots to get constant long shots in hardcore game modes. I prefer objective game modes. It gets people moving. Kill confirmed is a little bit slow, and team deathmatch is a bit pointless. But the objective game modes keep people moving. You'll see at the top, each of the rifles are slightly different in regards to the distances. Using the X10 Angel 40 optic, you'll see in the top right corner of the scope, you'll see the distance of what you're looking at. If it's above 38 meters, it's good for every weapon minus the snipers, which is 50. But you'll see 38 meters is vital for assault rifles, battle rifles, LMGs and marksmen. That's 4 of the categories in the game need above 38 meters. It's quite a lot. Playing maps like Al Bagra Fortress, Runway, Embassy, they've all got a few different long shot spots I'm about to show you, and I suggest you screenshot new ones for you. Most of them are pretty obvious, but using this optic you'll see what is a waste of time and what isn't. Long shots will be displayed on screen when you achieve them, which is great news, and using the deployable cover can let you get right at the back of the map and focus on a very high traffic area to get multiple long shot kills. I'm cycling through the maps just showing my new favourite areas of Dome. Dome is a pretty popular map, and there's a Dome 24/7 playlist available right now. So this is a really good map to get long shot kills. However, playing hardcore is still the best way to get the long shots because you can shoot them once in the leg. On screen right now is an SMG spot, worked perfectly. This is 30 meters, so SMGs require 30 meters or above, which is nearly all engagements. Shotguns are just 12, with pistols being 20. So it's not that far for all the others, but the hardest part of this game is long shots with assault rifles, the LMGs, the marksman. 38 meters is quite a long way away, especially in softcore. To play hardcore is my strong suggestion. You want to be using perks Battle Hardened, Bomb Squad, Hardline or Fast Hands. Ghost is a really important perk for this as well, because you're going to be at the back of the map and you want players to kind of stay away from you. This map here, for example, LSEO, is a really important map. It's really, really good for long shots on this game. It's one of those maps where you'll basically get kills at any point all the way across the map. Up here, I've got a little cheeky spot when you know there's players you can't get to because they're camping inside these buildings up here. Really easy to just pick them off, take them out because they'll be camping for their own long shots. But just here on the stairs, on this railing, is probably my most used headshot, long shot spot in this game. In hardcore, unsuspected victims come straight through that corridor there and up there to the antenna, trying to get long shots of their own. So many players just unavoidably run up there staring and don't expect you to be there. Get loads of headshots, loads of long shots from that direct spot there. I don't suggest you use this scope, but instead the 3x scope, the Slashdigger. I forgot the name of it. I'll put it on screen. Over here is a great spot for SMGs, because this is basically a long shot down here for all guns, but SMGs are basically in this little area here. No one ever even looks there. Up here is the reverse of the first one. You're going to get a lot of kills on the left-hand side. In the windows, that's good for the SMGs, because it's not quite 38 meters, unless they're at the back of the room, which is unlikely. But on the left, tons of long shots for all weapons. Here is the best spot for SMGs. If you want long shots of SMGs, Embassy, look out the window, look at the tennis court. You're going to get long shots nearly every single game. Run up there, look out the window, somebody will be there. I wouldn't be surprised if you can get 10 to 12, 15 in one game, just looking out of that window with the SMGs. Now moving over to Farm 18. On the left you're seeing some of the maps that I'm featured in these videos. These are all the maps I suggest you play. If you can avoid the others, you should do so, because they may have long shot spots, but they are not in high traffic areas. You'll be there all day and it's quite frustrating when it's all you're playing the game for. Each of the ones I'm showing you now are really good for the SMGs, which is only 30 meters. But this particular window, you're going to see a lot of high traffic, people running back and forward. Pop them off with the AR or the sniper. This particular one up the ladder on the left is a proper head glitch. It's so difficult to be killed while standing here. All you can see, however, is the other person doing the long shots as well, so it's hardly high traffic in this particular position. So now over to Hydroelectric. This map's actually got quite a few decent long shot spots that are really high traffic areas as well. This first one on the far left hand side, there's always someone there off the rip of the game. They hardly run down there throughout the middle of a game, but they're nearly always there at the beginning for some reason, so make sure you go there first. Here's a really high traffic area near the B flag. That's exactly 38 meters. All the way down there is fine, and another one to the far right to sort of counter anybody camping on the right. That's really rare, that last one. This middle section, however, is probably where I get most of the kills and long shots as well. If you've got other teammates going for long shots, you're pretty much going to be fighting for that location. So here's where I would spend most of my time, trying to get as many kills down the center as possible. But don't be afraid to use the water. If you jump out in the water, you can set your distance as far as you need to. And there's quite a few areas where you can swim around and they won't even look there ever, especially in hardcore. They'll have no clue where they died from, meaning you can get multiple kills and they won't even know where you come from. Here's a perfect one for SMGs. It's only just 30 meters, not good for ARs, but it's still a really cheeky spot if you're flanking around the outside. If you didn't know the hardcore was campy, you'll soon find out, because lots of players like to sit on top of that dome. It's not quite great for sniping, not good for ARs, it's all for the SMGs, but this particular spot, perfect for the ARs. 38 meters away, you'll get tons of kills across there because there's always someone there. And here's the bit that looks over B flag. It stares straight down, kind of where people spawn. Don't be tempted to go forward and left and be right on the balcony. Be tucked away out the back, and then you can peek whenever you want to. You'll see down on the right hand side, it's a lot easier to get kills from this position. So now we're going to move over to a map called Masargor, however you pronounce it. Not too many on this map, but this particular spot got loads of long shots. Snipers work there, the lot. Straight down the middle on hardcore, it's hard to survive here, but I would suggest laying down in prone. If you have the bipod option, pop that down because that means you've mounted on the ground. And here's the opposite of it. These two ends I don't suggest you really use. If you have to play Mikado, whatever, go to these spots here. There aren't that many, to be honest with you. Actually, this one over the C flag, I got quite a lot of kills because this is exactly 38 meters away. You see the bottom end of the steps. That's 38 meters. So you will get quite a few kills of players trying to flank around. Depending on where you spawn, they're going to be spawning the other side. So over here we are in the hotel. It's my understanding hotel wasn't in the game for legal reasons. I think they didn't put it in the game because of the amount of long shots in this map. Jesus Christ. This left hand side is completely open, perfect for snipers. It's great in hardcore. You'll be getting long shots all the way over this left hand side. There's always players there trading. I think it's awesome. Be prepared to use smoke because they're going to use smoke as well, and thermal scopes, so be aware. A bit more central, it's 38 meters. Perfect to look over this left hand side for the balcony. That's more than 38 meters. And dead over the front here, you've got the B flag. The B flag of domination is just over 38 meters away. So in hardcore, super easy to take long shot kills and take them out of the map. And this one's straight down the middle as well, really understated. Like, it's a little mountain spot as well. So anybody floating around the middle, they can run through there, get long shotted. Low traffic though, I will warn you of that. Over here on Raceway though now. Now, it makes a lot of sense to be at the back of the map. It's the furthest away from enemies. It works for ARs, so you can get kills from a different range. But believe me, it's not as high traffic as you may think. If you are in the middle here, this is just long enough still. It's to go over here, lay flat. No one's going to see you there. That's really tight, that one. But you want to be somewhere high traffic. There's a lot of players in their spawn. They won't want to move. They're here for just long shots. So get in the centre of the map. It's still above 38 meters and perch on top of here. If you've got a low recoil weapon, you can stand on there because you haven't got to mount it. But this exact spot I'm now standing is the most high traffic place you'll be standing. You'll see lots of players running back and forward. Now, you wouldn't expect to see much of shipment when it comes to long shots, but it does work for the pistols and shotguns. Bear in mind, if you're playing hardcore or you've got a revolver or the 50 cal, you can get nice, easy long shots just by shooting them back and forward when shipment is actually live. I didn't want to go through this game and not mention Shoot House. Clearly, Shoot House is the mother of all long shots. But there is a map that's actually better, and I will tell you that in a second. Over here on the right hand side, you're going to see players coming to the scrapyard, looking to one side and not seeing you all the way at the back there. Far right hand side, again, a really easy long shot spot. Also a place to lay prone and go into mounted cover. Again, easy. You're going to see players all the way around this back section here. Lots of long shot opportunities, easy and hardcore. But as you get into the A flag, get right the way back here. This is 38 meters. So you get lots of kills where players are just flanking. Nice and easy. It's a really good spot. I don't really need to go over the central part of this map. The long shots down the center are pretty obvious, but on the right hand side here is a great shot for the SMGs and the pistols. If you can just camp around this area here, you'll get lots of long shots for those two types of weapons, as well as shotguns as well. And this one, it crosses over the B flag. Loads of long shots in hardcore. You're going to get tons of headshots as well. But now onto Tariq. This is probably the best map for long shots in the game. Hands down. If there's a Tariq long shot sort of 24/7 hardcore game mode, people would play it just to get the long shots, because there's a spot right here you can climb up and see tons of avenues where people spawn, tons of areas where they hang around, high traffic areas. It's really, really easy. On the far right hand side of the map is this area here. Again, people spawn directly ahead of you for some reason, and you can still take them out. But that corridor, that corner, sorry, in the far distance, again, it's near the A flag. It's where they spawn on domination, tons of places. Here's the center part of the map. Again, that's 38 meters. Someone's always in that window. I will show you what that looks like from the other side in just a moment. But here around the side, you'll see players kind of camping just there, right near that green section. And over here, you can climb up and look down on the A flag almost. But this is a really, really good spot for long shots. The central part of the map is available. That window's always players there. There's the B flag. And just ahead of you now is the best long shot in the game, just there. You'll see nearly the entire map from there. I'm about to show you that. Over here, it's a bit underrated for SMGs and the pistols. Players will be sprinting around there trying to get round to the A flag. So you can just chill around here. And here's the central part of the map where there's some windows. If there's not a camper there, I'll be very, very surprised. That's a great spot. Just get in this corner, wait for them to look out the window and take them out. Over here, there's a lot of areas where people will flank for headquarters and hardpoint. But this particular jump up here, you got a spot against the other side of the map. You got here's a long shot for people kind of covering over A. That's a long shot spot for SMGs, and here's another AR long shot. You will get a lot of kills while standing up there. In hardcore, you can get away with murder. In softcore, they'll see the replay and come after you. But yeah, inside the building, there's not too many long shots inside this window. But this direction, loads. For some reason, players are spawning while you're here. They just flank left and right aimlessly. It's crazy. So you get loads of long shots on this left-hand side, but way more on the right-hand side. With attachments, make sure you're using the attachments for aiming stability and recoil smoothness. Those two particular attachments are all you really care about. Who cares about ADS at the moment? You're sitting at the back of the map and you want your cursor to remain where it's supposed to be. The aiming stability is really underrated, especially in marksman rifles. Ensure you're definitely making that a maximum you can when you're tuning the weapons. So well done, you've made it through to POLYATOMIC. Well done. The headshots are the last thing you need to worry about. It's 25 per gun. And that's not that many. You can do quite a few in a game, but here are some subtle tips and tricks and what maps to play, what score streaks to use to enable this to happen as quick as possible. Some are easier than others. I again recommend you play hardcore for this, focusing all your attachments for aim movement speed. If you can, you'll be walking around the map pretty much dead silent all the time in hardcore. Players will not be jumping around those corners. They'll just be running at head height. So your gun is already at head height. You haven't got to worry about them jumping and stuff like that. Really does make it a lot more tricky when they're drop shotting and jumping around. But in hardcore, you're killing them before they even know you're there because you're walking around ADS. It can be slow, it can be quite annoying in the middle of the map, but if you're expecting gunfire around the corner, why wouldn't you? After doing the long shots, this is a breath of fresh air. It's like a little reward from Activision to say, here you go, enjoy the game again that you paid for, because long shots are so painful, but headshots are a lot of fun. However, you get deep into this challenge and you realise it's quite annoying when you don't come out with more than 5 or up to 10 headshots in a game, especially when you're really trying to go for it. My strong suggestion is to play hardcore objective game modes where you can. Once again, it seems to be the quite obvious, to me anyway, really obvious place to play is in hardcore. You want to be using battle hardened, bomb squad, hardline or fast hands for the LMGs and the marksman rifles, quick fix or ghost if you're playing solo. You really want to catch players off guard because then they're not jumping and stuff like that. You want to use dead silence, obviously, but for the marksman rifles, maybe you'd like to use munitions box and stay a little bit further back because you shouldn't really be in their faces too much to get these headshots. Snipers, don't be afraid to use a red dot sight on this to increase your ADS time, get really in people's faces, and treat your slow sniper like a big shotgun, basically. You want to get as many kills and interactions as possible by playing small maps. Shipment is the god of headshots, however, everyone's jumping around corners. So in theory, you could get as many headshots on Shoot House. If you use dead silence and creep around the left or right hand side while they're all aiming over the long shot spot down the center, that's 2 headshots every rotation around the map. There's nearly always someone there. It really is that easy. But at the end of all of these challenges, all these silly little things you've had to do and play with weapons you don't even like, this is a godsend. The headshots relish in this because it's a lot of fun. And maybe try and finish on a weapon that you really like. The boom, you've just ding. There you go, there's the challenge unlocked. This year I was trying to unlock it with a sniper, but I sort of messed up and I did one of the DLC weapons and forgetting how many headshots I actually had done, and here it is on screen. Previous years I've done it from the side of a helicopter, or I did it on top of a balloon one year, and I'm a bit gutted this year I wasn't able to pull off some sort of crazy stunt. However, it only shows on the screen very briefly, 51 challenges unlocked. It's not really worth it. But anyway, My name is Gabba. I've really enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys have too. Maybe drop a like, and remember, I reply to every single comment on every video. I'd love to reach out to you and maybe hit up my Twitter if you want to see the HD versions of all of these screenshots for you to download and review later on. Take it easy.